First, we had Erin Patterson in Australia with her death cap mushrooms. Now we've got a deadly birthday cake in Brazil. We're talking about it in today's video. Hello Sofa Squad and welcome back to the sofa. Whoosh. The sofa's right here. Whoosh. I'm sitting on the sofa. Whoosh. We're in a different place. Y'all, we are still on vacation in the mountains of Tennessee. Actually, Sewanee to be precise. Shout out to Sewanee, beautiful area. So we're here, the boys are next to me sleeping. I'm filming some of the stuff that I've been like going over these last few days or talking to y'all about. And specifically today, what we're going to be doing is this case. When I saw a couple of you send it to me, and thank you, I was just like, really? Like the headlines just outdo themselves every day. And what I mean by that is reading the ludicrousness of these, right? So like I said in the opener, we had Erin Patterson with her death cap mushrooms. That is still lingering. We'll get to that update here in a little bit. But now we have this case out of Brazil that's so similar. And now again, we don't know a lot of the information. This has just come out and whatnot. So we're not sure if this is intentional, not intentional. I can't believe I'm using that word, but you know what I'm saying. So what we're going to do today is we're just going to kind of go over some of the highlights of the case and what we know now. And then we'll talk about it at the end of the video. Okay, so let's go over like a quick little overview of the case and then we'll talk about the details in it. So a family tragedy in Brazil has left 3 dead and 3 hospitalized after consuming Bolo de Natal, a traditional Christmas cake. Now this was suspected of being laced with arsenic. The victims include 2 women who died of cardiac arrest and a 3rd who succumbed to poisoning shock. Okay, now among the hospitalized are the baker as well as a 10-year-old boy. We'll talk more specifically about who the victims are and whatnot in a minute. Okay, so now the cake, when they talk to like neighbors, people like that, people in the know or whatever, this is like a very long-standing family tradition. They had done this year after year, never any issues before, okay? So this has obviously made people around the area go, huh, what? Now also, I'm about to throw a wrench in your system here. Very similar to Erin the Mushroom Lady. I guess when people get away with it once, they go back for it. So the woman who baked the cake, we'll talk more in depth about her in a second. Her husband died recently. Guess what he died of? Just go on and guess. Okay. So initially it's thought to be natural, right? However, they are going back and exhuming his body, pulling up, doing all this stuff to see, is this poisoning? What's going on with it? So yeah, there's that. The verdict is out on that. We'll just leave it at that for now. So Zeli, Terezinha Silva dos Anjos from Torres, Brazil. She prepared this traditional Christmas cake. This was for the family meal on December 23rd. Now, she is hospitalized and whatnot, right? Her sisters, Maida, 58, Neuza, 65, and Neuza's daughter, Tatiana, 43, they all died very shortly after eating this cake, okay? It didn't take long, right? Now remember the baker, she is hospitalized. She ate 2 pieces of it and she went to the hospital. Okay, so let's keep going here. Now there's 3 more members of the family, so that includes the 10-year-old boy, and then Zeli, who made the cake, and then her sister, who helped like host and whatnot, or they were also hospitalized as well. Now, Zeli was the first person to be rushed to the hospital after she ate those 2 slices of cake that we talked about. Again, her husband died in September, similar circumstances of food poisoning, that type thing. So now obviously, like I said earlier, the authorities that are looking into this, they're gonna see what was going on exactly with that. Now, here's the other thing with this. So when they go in and they search her house and everything, because obviously this is gonna happen, they're looking around, they're just like, yeah, we're finding like all of this super expired food, okay? Like year-old mayonnaise, just, expired food and stuff like this. But here's the thing, and we'll have to see what this, what comes out during the investigation. So they found this bottle of medicine, right? And they're like, it's supposed to have these capsules inside of it, but there were no capsules. It was just like this white liquid that was in it. And they're going to look at that. So here's the thing. She's always done this cake. It's a family tradition, nothing's gone wrong. Okay, well, obviously something went very wrong, okay? So they're going to go in there and start looking at her food. Now, here's the thing. When they start finding expired food and whatnot, and again, these people are all, they're not old is very relative. We're not talking about like 90-year-olds who might, be completely like, I didn't know the mayonnaise was, these are older, youngish people, right? So we're talking 40s, 50s, 60s, that thing. Like, they should be able to know that, like, oh, the mayonnaise is bad, okay? However, people are different, whatnot. Somebody might consider something with an expiration date different than other people. Okay, I see this all the time. So year-old mayonnaise has me a little bit shook, okay? Can you imagine how sick you would get from that? Now, this is sofa speculation. Sofa speculation. Imagine if she figured out that she was able to use truly expired food to do what she might have allegedly done to her husband. We don't know. It could be natural. And then she was like, oh, well, here we go. Now, here's another wrench in the investigation. Like, so far the cops, whatever you want to call it, investigators are like, look, there's nothing about like inheritance or anything that might be like a major motivating factor right away. So, because that's where your mind would go, is like, oh, she figured out the gig to like offer family and get their inheritance, but that's not a contributing factor. So now it's like, okay, was there bad blood? Was there resentment? Like something, like what would be the motivation to do this? And it could simply be attention. Now, here's the thing when it comes to that, expired food or not, arsenic was found in some of the victims' bodies, okay? So as we know, arsenic is poison, okay? It's not good. It's not supposed to be there like that. So yeah, that part's very, very bad. So again, they're probably going to wait for her to get better. There's multiple survivors, her, the sister and whatnot, 10-year-old boy. So they're going to want to question them. This was different, and let's talk for a minute about the Erin Patterson case. Erin Patterson is the Australia case. This is the woman that cooked her in-laws, former in-laws and whatnot. She had gone through a separation and everything. This dish, beef Wellington. The mushrooms were death caps, deadliest mushrooms in the world, right? And killed everybody except for somehow, some way, one of the gentlemen lived, okay? Her ex-husband was supposed to come, but he didn't come at the last minute. Her children were sent away. It was all very convenient. Now, she is still incarcerated in Australia. Her trial is supposed to start in April of 2025. We'll see what happens with that. So that to me was very different because she was familiar with foraging and whatnot, so she knew enough about that. So with Erin having experience like with mushrooms and all this kind of stuff, whatever, versus something like this of like, you know, there's blatant arsenic found. I mean, obviously death caps is blatantly poisonous or whatever. You know, why is there arsenic in the cake, right? You know, her husband dies like from some kind of food poisoning, you know, very shortly before. Did she learn with that, like, oh, here's what I can do? If they find arsenic in the husband, plays, right? I think she's already cooked since they found arsenic. It's like, how did it get in there? You know, and if she comes up with something like, you know, oh, I grabbed the wrong box. It's like, what? You know, like, it doesn't even make sense. Sofa speculation. I think she could have done this. If she ate 2 pieces right off the bat and went to the hospital first, remember, Erin did the same thing. She had her own plate or whatever. It's almost like they put a tiny amount in their own, people who poison, to get just sick enough, and then they do a big whammy on everybody else that they're trying to kill. And that's what this seems like to me. Like, she put just enough in there to make people sick and whatever, and then from there it was like, we're just gonna let, you know, fate decide itself or whatever. So we're gonna have to see on this. Because of the arsenic level, I think that it's going to be a way quicker and swifter than the Erin Patterson thing, because she was out for a minute, right? Well, they were figuring stuff out and whatnot. Remember, every country is different, okay? So we don't know how this works in Brazil versus Australia versus America. However, I mean, this is a family wiped out right at Christmas time, right? I mean, having a traditional holiday thing that they always do, and then this happens, you know, on the heels of the husband being dead. So we'll see what really happens with it. But a lot of you emailed me about this, and so I wanted to look at it, I wanted to talk about it. So let me know. The boys are starting to stir. Let me know what you think. I mean, do you think, and I hate to use these words, do you think it was intentional? Still a little bit of a line there from Sarah Boone. And again, we'll see what happens when the stuff comes back from the husband. If the husband's stuff comes back is like non-arsenic, then it'll be more like, okay, so, but again, for me, I'm wanting to hear, why is there arsenic in their bodies? Where did this come from and how much was it? Was there arsenic in the cake? And if there is, there's zero reason, right? Zero reason. So it's like, you made this, where are we at? And then if it does come out, it's like, okay, yeah, she did it. What is the reasoning? Because so far, and granted, this is all very initial, there's not a blatant like, oh, she was going to get $10 million. Oh, her sister was going to out her to the family about her affair or whatever. I mean, that's not, you know, I'm just making stuff up. There's none of that so far. So it's like, like, you know, other than attention, you know, because look at Aaron Patterson. It's like, what did you do this for? You know, she claims her innocence, but it's like, why? You know, are you like, what do they call those nurses who kill people? Dark angels or something like that? You know, it's almost like that kind of energy. So anyways, thank you for sending these to me. Let me know what you think. Drop it down in the comment section below. While you are down there, if you could please drop some little sofas off there for myself, Roscoe and Spirit, the boys who are starting to stir. So we'll have a place to hang out while we talk about this case and all the other ones here at the Sofa Squad. And until we, well, meander on down there to do that, I'll see y'all soon. I just wanted to say thank you again for watching the whole video, and also thank you for being part of the Sofa Squad. Special thanks to all the Patreon members, channel members from both of my channels, everybody who likes, shares, subscribes, comments in the comment sections. It helps the channel out so much. Now don't forget, I do have that other channel, the podcast channel. That's where we go live, we hang out, we talk. We have kind of sort of a schedule, but just be sure and check it out. I'll put it up here on the screen. And then, like I said in the beginning of the video, if you want to follow me and Roscoe on the Instagram, go on, check it out. It's right here on the screen again. But once again, thank you very much. I really appreciate you being part of the Sofa Squad, and I'll see you in the next video.